let's do a writing challenge because I want you to be able to level up your skills and get really good at dealing with whatever gets thrown at you inside of the context of what you're writing, how you're writing it, the plot, the structure, the characters, the world building, all of those things. And we love to just drop some things to help you be more creative, to learn to write better, and to keep you from getting bored. Because once you do this for a really long time, it can get real easy to find distractions while you're writing because it's the same thing over and over again. The process of writing doesn't change too much unless you spice it up and make yourself think and work a little bit harder and make it a little more enriching for you. So today's challenge requires you to get yourself up and go to your door. If you can't go to your door, go to a window, but let's go to a door. Let's take a little trip outside. All you got to do is go to one of the doors in your house. You got to open it up, and I want you to look outside. Look at the world around you. There's going to be a lot there. If you're out in the country, you're going to see grass and trees and the neighborhood. If you are in the suburbs, you're going to see neighbors and cars and street stuff and garbage cans out and mailboxes. You're going to see some of your neighbors walking around. If you're in the city, you've got lots of people, lots of things, lots of city life, lots of sights, sounds, noises. All of these things are going to be different from person to person. So this challenge is very customized to you. What I want you to do is sweep the area. You don't even have to step outside. You just gotta look at the area, and I want you to sweep the area. Start noting the things that you're seeing. You can go through all of these things, and then as you are taking in all of this information, I want you to pick one thing. One of those things. Once you have that one thing, now you have to write that into your story in today's version of what you're writing. However many words you are writing, however far you're going, however many chapters you're knocking out, that one thing has to be written in somewhere that makes sense for your story. So if you were at my house right now, I look outside, I go right outside my door, and I see the fence that I have up, getting my yard into a safe space for my dogs so that they have a place to play and run, and other animals and creatures, because I'm out in the country, cannot get in, because boy, do those things like to come up real close, the deer, the foxes, the stuff. I have a fenced in area for my girls. That is the very first thing I see, and it takes up a lot of space because it's, most of my front yard is fenced in. So now, if I'm going to be writing today, I have to write a fence into my story in some way, shape, or form. And I can get creative, because if I'm writing a story that's maybe more urban, maybe there's not a fence in this urban cityscape that I am creating. So how can I get that fence into my story? I might have to get a little bit more creative. If I was writing something that's a bit more country, then it's going to make a little more sense. It's going to be easier for me to write that thing in. So now if I can't just write it in because the world doesn't have those things or doesn't make sense, how can I then fit a fence in? Maybe it's a fence, like a little popsicle stick fence on a kid's project in the school homework stuff that they're getting ready for that's in the distance somewhere. That's a creative way. It's kind of obvious, but it's creative. Maybe I'm going to talk about how I'm fencing in certain areas inside of the room, and I can use it more metaphorically than actual physical fence. Get creative on how you're doing this, but pick one thing. It can be a bird, it can be a pine tree, it can be a pine cone, it can be a rock, it can be the street, it can be a car, it can be a garbage can, a mailbox, or whatever. The world outside is very interesting no matter where you are, what you're doing. So pick one thing. Sometimes the interesting thing could be what you want to work with. But sometimes those mundane things, like you walk outside and you see a brown leaf because it's fall and it's fallen from the trees and it's on the steps. Maybe you want to take that brown leaf, that mundane thing, and figure out a creative way to write that in and make it make sense with what you're writing in the section you're writing today. So your challenge right now is to get up, if possible, and get yourself to your door or window or wherever. Or, you know your yard. If you have to visualize it, do what you need to do. But pick something that you would typically see from a door, from your door, or from the door of the building that you're in. If you were writing on your lunch break, you know what to do, and write it in to make it make sense in the story that you're creating today, so that now you have something interesting to do. It's not the same mundane writing, going through the plot like you typically do. You get to enrich yourself and make yourself work for it a little bit more. Drop your ideas for the next writing challenge we're going to do here on the channel, and follow along because I have some breaking news for you. I have several new series I'm going to be launching here on the channel. They are wildly entertaining. I am in production for them right now. I'm very, very excited for these. I can't wait to bring them to you in the next month or so. We're going to start releasing episodes on this, and I'm so thrilled. So follow along for more. We're going to help you level up as an author. And at least one of these new series is going to be incredibly helpful for leveling up your writing as well. We'll see you in those episodes.